Analyzing an unseen poem under exam conditions can often feel like an exercise in subjective guesswork. However, literary analysis is most effective when approached as a systematic study of specific, identifiable components, rather than an attempt to guess a poet's private feelings. This approach relies on an 8-part analytical framework designed to categorize and evaluate every element of a poem or sonnet. Because poetry is a deliberate arrangement of language, we can analyze the text to identify the poet's intent and the technical choices they use to convey it. This framework is built on 8 distinct pillars: theme, tone, figures of speech, imagery, rhyme scheme, author's position, poet's attitude, and generic form. Internalizing these 8 components provides a structured methodology for reading, ensuring that every claim you make in an examination is supported by the physical evidence on the page. The first pillar of our schematic is theme. This represents the foundational idea, or the primary message the poet intends to communicate. You will often find that a single poem explores several overlapping themes at once, such as the relationship between nature and beauty, or the inevitable passage of time and death. Identifying these themes usually requires an analysis of the entire text, as the core message emerges through the progression of the poem. Directly supporting the theme is our second pillar, tone. Tone refers to the specific attitude the poet adopts toward their subject matter, or the people they are describing. This attitude determines the emotional atmosphere of the poem, which may be characterized as happy, sad, serious, hopeful, angry, romantic, or thoughtful. We identify the tone by paying close attention to the poet's specific word choices, their expressions, and how they present their ideas. While the theme provides the intellectual purpose of the work, the tone dictates the emotional experience for the reader. We then move to the mechanical execution of the language, the third pillar, figures of speech. This category includes the technical devices used to organize thoughts, such as simile, metaphor, personification, imagery, alliteration, assonance, hyperbole, and irony. These devices allow poets to express complex feelings and concepts with high precision, adding layers of meaning that standard, literal language cannot easily achieve. Within this category, we find our fourth pillar, which is essential for grounding the reader's perspective: imagery. Imagery is the specific use of descriptive language to create vivid mental representations of people, places, and objects. To function effectively, imagery must appeal to one or more of the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, or touch. By engaging these senses, the poet allows the reader to visualize a scene more clearly and connect more deeply with the underlying thoughts and emotions. Figures of speech, and imagery in particular, act as the bridge between the poet's abstract intent and the reader's tangible understanding. From the meaning of words, we move to their sound, the fifth pillar, rhyme scheme. This is the specific, recurring pattern of rhyming words located at the ends of the lines. In literary analysis, we identify these patterns using letters, A, B, C, D, and so on, to map how the sounds repeat throughout the poem. This pattern establishes a rhythmic quality and a musical harmony, which helps the reader remember the text and feel its internal pace. Because the rhyme scheme depends entirely on the poet's choice of style, it serves as a structural signature for the work. It is the mathematical architecture that gives a poem its sense of order and formal beauty. Our analysis then shifts to the perspective behind the text, introducing the sixth pillar, author's position. The author's position is the point of view the writer takes toward their subject. This may be subjective, where the poet focuses on expressing their personal thoughts and individual emotional responses. Alternatively, the position may be objective, where the poet presents ideas and observations in a neutral, unbiased manner. We must distinguish this position from our seventh pillar, the poet's attitude. While position is about the point of view, attitude is the specific opinion or judgment the poet holds regarding the subject matter. The attitude can be categorized in many ways, such as positive, negative, or critical, respectful, or joyful. You can determine this by synthesizing the tone, the imagery, and the specific messages found in the text. Understanding the attitude reveals the poet's true perspective on the person, event, or idea they are describing. Finally, we arrive at the eighth and most comprehensive pillar, generic form. The generic form is the literary category the poem belongs to, defined by its style, structure, and subject matter. Common generic forms include the sonnet, the lyric, the ode, the elegy, the ballad, and the dramatic monologue. Each form has its own technical features and traditional rules for organizing ideas. Identifying the form immediately provides context for the poet's style and their structural purpose. The generic form acts as the overarching blueprint that dictates how all the other components of the poem are assembled. Applying this 8-part framework is the most effective way to prepare for a reading skills exam. When faced with an unfamiliar text, the first step is to remain focused on the technical evidence. Always identify the generic form and the theme first. This establishes the logical boundaries for the rest of your analysis. Next, prioritize your analysis of figures of speech and imagery, as examiners look for your ability to interpret how these devices function within the text. Finally, ensure any claim you make about tone or attitude is supported by citing specific word choices directly from the poem. High-level exam performance is the result of applying these 8 pillars in a consistent and objective manner. From identifying the theme and tone to analyzing the technical use of imagery, rhyme, and form, you now have a complete methodology for literary analysis. Every poem is a deliberate construction of language with a clear, identifiable purpose. By reading carefully and applying this 8-part framework, you can approach any text with academic rigor and total confidence. Mastery of reading skills is simply the mastery of the blueprint.